Hi, this is Sean, and in today's lesson we're going to look at how to keep your improv practice fresh and interesting without just switching to new concepts all the time. What most people do is they get bored of their playing very quick because they're not getting any real depth in their practice, and therefore they just keep switching over to all these different concepts. YouTube is full of them, and then what happens is just overwhelm and confusion and nothing gets cooked. If that sounds familiar, this one's for you. Even if it doesn't, we're going to do some cool stuff. So let's get into it. So all I'm going to be doing is taking the 4 chords that you see on the screen, D7 for 2 bars, G7 for 2 bars, C7 for 2, and F7 for 2, the kind of chords you see on the bridge of rhythm changes, the chord changes to I Got Rhythm, or the bridge of Perdido, same thing. First thing I'm going to do is just take the dominant scales, D7, root to 7th and back down, G7, C7, and F7. It's really one type of scale moved to different places. If you can't do that, you're not going to make it. So just one scale in 4 places, okay? We're not doing 12 keys or anything. These are simple scales. Let's just do that root to 7th and back on each one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. D7, G7, C7, and F7. Fine, just that is good practice. Next up, why don't we take that same thing and just start on different beats? I'm going to start on the 2. Something will come to me as I play, so we'll see. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1. You see what's happening? I'll explain it. So all I did was I took 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. Didn't go as far down. 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. 3, 4, 1 on C, and then on F as well. Just that concept is enough to squeeze so much out of. We're not even scratching the surface of what we can do with the scales alone. But believe me, that should be enough for several weeks or months even if you want to. Next up, let's take some chord notes. Now with chord notes, I'm going to start on the 3rd of each, so I'll extend up to the 9, right? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 of each. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. That was G7, now C7. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. I'm not playing the 1, it's just to show you where I am. 1, but I'll play 3, 5, 7, 9. Let's see how we turn that into something worth playing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Aha. So what's happening is rhythmic displacement. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, and 2, and... I've taught lessons on rhythmic displacement before. We'll link something below. What I did was I started on 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, and 2, and. So for me, if I start something on, say, 2, then the next time round, I'll start the same thing a beat earlier on 1. Had I have started on 1, I would have started on 4 the next time. Let's actually try that. Let's try starting on 1, then 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and. 1, and 2, and 3, 4, and 1, and. Half step. Half step below. So you see, again, with this concept, we have so much more juice we can squeeze out of it, which we won't do right now, but just to show you, there's a lot there that's available. Finally, I'm going to mix chords and scales. So let's find something. That'll be okay. So I've gone up the scale, up a chord based on the scale, the one we used before, down the scale, and just a little turn within the scale, right? I'm going to practice that on those 4 degrees, on those 4 chords, D7, G7, C7, F7. Here we go, let's see what happens. 2, 3, 4, 1. G7. Okay, this time we'll take a half step below each pattern. So instead of, we'll play. So you're having to feel where the earlier beat is as well, right? So you're training yourself rhythmically, just like we did in that rhythmic displacement section. So now we're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Let's do that on each one. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. G7. C7. F7. Great. This time, instead of adding an extra at the beginning, we'll remove that, but we'll also remove the very first note. So instead of adding a note on, we're cutting a note off. So instead of, we're having, and we'll try and do it on each one. Let's see if I can do it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. On G7. C7. F7. Great. So you see, we wouldn't run out of things to do on there either. You should never be bored when you've got these simple concepts. You don't need to start switching into, oh, I saw the diminished scale. I've got nothing against the diminished scale before the comments come in. I use it. You don't need to be switching into the melodic minor yet and all the other options. There is so much to squeeze just out of the dominant scale. And that's what people don't do. They get bored with their playing and they look for other things to do and more magical things and cooler shit to do. That's where they stumble because they just get overwhelmed with information and none of it gets cooked enough to sound good in their playing. That's what we want to avoid. That's how I suggest you do some practice with your dominants and with everything, to be honest. If it's time to level up your improv, then come and see us on Jazz Skills, where you'll learn the things you don't learn on YouTube, the training, how to really work and improve your playing, not just get loads of information thrown at you, how to really focus on your transformation. We'll start you out with the Developing Fluency course, where you'll practice all the important language that we use in jazz, all the progressions and how they work. And tunes will start to look really organized to you after that. Then we'll transition you into the main members area, where you'll learn about voicings and melodies and accompanying and rhythm and improv and movements and all kinds of other stuff with support from me, plus you'll plug into our vibrant community as well. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching and bye for now.